Crouch. Bind. Set.
Joe presents the House of Rugby, together with Guinness.
Away we go once again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of House of Rugby, brought to you by Joe, together with our good friends at Guinness. Welcome to our isolation inspiration stations. No Jeff Linton. Cole is otherwise engaged, but we do have Haskins instead. We hope you enjoyed our regular show as per on Tuesday. One or two fairly lively pieces of feedback. I was told that I was recording inside a potato and had been told that I'd aged by about 20 years in a week. So that was a little bit disappointing. Lord is back in his man cave. Hoff, you've changed positions. Is this a little guided tour? Are we going on a tour of Hask Towers?
No, I know that's confusing, but all I've done is just turn my, instead of sitting with my back on the sofa, I'm now lying and lounging out. So I'm facing my lovely wife, who's laying on the other sofa because she doesn't want to be left out. So she's involved.
How are you?
A live studio audience, yeah.
How is day 3 of isolation treating you?
Well, actually, I have been in and out, so I haven't really been sitting around too much. My wonderful wife is creating a business empire, writing plans, launching websites, doing incredibly well. I have basically doing sod all apart from training a bit in the garage on the old watt bike, getting a bit of physio, eating. I was going to do some DJing, but didn't get around to it. I've been recording video conference calls. Everything's done by video now. So I did some stuff with my book. That's about it, really. Just head down, arse up.
Living the dream. Lord, hello. Have you moved since we last spoke to you? Have you done anything or not?
No, basically just sat here. What have I done today?
Are you back into the gaming?
No. I went to the driving range today. There was no one there, but it was nice to get out. Watt bike also, well done, James. But apart from that, we're having some plans done for some other bits. So we had a couple of meetings on that. A semi-productive day, I would say.
Yeah, we've got 12 weeks of this.
I've got a question for you. I've got two things to say. I've got a question for you firstly. What the hell happened to your tooth?
Do you want to have a look?
Oh, yeah.
Has it been fixed back in? Oh! What was that?
I know.
Oh, well, the
really bad thing about it is I'm trying to raise some money at the moment, and every time I have a conference call and it falls out, I end up talking like Mike Tyson.
But is that
I've
how
just
you
got a
speak
feeling.
without a tooth?
What?
Yeah.
Do your impression
Is that how you
and put it into the
speak?
WhatsApp group.
Howdy, all. Hey, Par, I'm going to go marry my cousin. Everybody okay? Please invest in...
Unfortunately, Hask, you have to remember he was very well schooled, so that was very well used when he was back at school. He was in and out all day long.
I bet it was. Hey there, please invest in the influencer room. I'll give you a good deal.
That's coming out.
But no, I did something important of value this week, yesterday.
Yeah.
Which I have completely forgotten. So I have become a trustee of the RPA's Restart Foundation.
Right. Aren't you trying to set up a rival faction to the RPA?
Yeah, but if you can't beat them, join them, take them down from within. That's essentially my plan. But no, I've become a trustee along with Hugo Monnier and Ed Jackson as Ben Kay has stepped down. So we had our first meeting. And to say I am like shocked and surprised and like blown away about all that stuff is an understatement, to be honest with you. I assumed the RFU contributed to the Restart Foundation charity, and I also thought that the clubs contributed as well. No one. All of that money is funded via obviously dinners, the RPA awards, donations. Apparently, and according to all the figures, that the helpline they've set up for mental health has gone through the roof, right? And obviously into this period of time, especially, obviously everybody's in a dire situation. I understand people are losing jobs, losing money, but obviously, we're talking about sports people. This is House of Rugby. But obviously a lot of, sports people have mental health issues, as everybody does, but sitting at home, not doing what you're doing. If you're not a rugby player, you don't play rugby and you don't have anything else in your life, you suddenly get to sit on a sofa with your thoughts, spending a lot of time on your own. So obviously the Restart charities could be massively prevalent. I think obviously some clubs potentially could fold in this period of time. And I was astounded by A, the amount of people who are reaching out, B, the amount of work that the RPA are doing, but also the fact that all the England team, for example, do so many charitable events, right, and do stuff rightly so, but not one event they do has any contributions back to Restart, apart from the RPA awards and obviously the Restart games. And at the moment, the funding is just not there to support all these players and to do all this stuff and to raise money. And now all these events are cancelled. You know, there's been some players and some people who have like needed critical support. I'm talking like life or death situation where Restart have stepped in and helped people. You know, obviously, the Worcester player as well, Fatilofa, with his
Michael
neck.
Fatilofa,
yeah. You know, that all the support they've given him, it blew my mind, and I've now got like really revved up about trying to support and help and do something with it, because I just think, you know, I've talked about players being treated as commodities, and you know, everybody's in a difficult situation, but I had no idea that the kind of charity's hand to mouth at the moment, and that with all this funding and all the people reaching out for support and help, and people retiring and people out of contract and people with mental health issues, it blew me away. So I'm going to try to raise a lot more awareness of it and try to do, you know, and support what is an amazing charity. So many people are going to get to a point where they might reach out to that health line. You know, there's obviously an amazing part where you get, you know, 8 sessions funded by the Restart for mental health, reaching out, helping people. But then obviously some people need continued care. Who pays for that? I'm just amazed that the RFU don't make any contributions at all, don't support any of the players in that rate. And also all the players do these charity events and are hoard out left, right and centre and don't give any contributions back to help other players. And when you're a rugby player or a sportsman, you're so kind of selfish and focused on what you're doing. You don't care about anybody else until you need it. And then you realise, shit, they do an amazing job. And Ed Jackson, for me, is what an inspirational guy. It's just a real eye-opener. So I have done something important this week.
Well done. That's the problem. What's the solution other than fundraising and dinners and...
Well, I think firstly is education to the players and raising the actual awareness of the amount of people that this helpline, the therapy sessions, the mental health, helping people get jobs, the rehabilitation of people post-rugby, of catastrophic injury support, is educating the players and making them care. Because at the moment, you know, when the RPA come in and meet, we were like, yeah, don't gamble, don't do drugs, sweet. You know, Restart, when you wear a T-shirt, yeah. I used to do support Restart. I did videos to them, but I had no idea to the extent and what was available to players, and the fact that, you know, players are applying for grants to help with situations that so many players have, you know, been in pretty dire situations and had to reach out. So it's a re-education process. It's getting the players invested. It's getting the clubs, you know, obviously after this situation to try to do more or take responsibility for players under their care. And I think also getting the RFU to get involved and making sure the England players, do some charitable events for the Restart and actually contribute to themselves, as opposed to reaching out to underprivileged kids elsewhere, which is great and really important, don't get me wrong. But, you know, when there's mental health issues at home, you've got to sort that out first.
Yeah, agreed. God, there's a lot to do, isn't there? I mean, there's just, everyone needs some help at the moment. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, but if you think about it, we are very early into the mental health, how it's come up and everything like that, and I think it's going to grow, but it needs as much public airtime as it can possibly get. And if we can help and lend a hand with that, then let's do it, man.
Well, right. They asked me to do it. They asked me to be a trustee, and I was like, look, you know, I'm busy, I'm doing this stuff. And I spoke to Ed. Ed told me the value of it. I had a conversation with Ugo. And to sit through a meeting with all these people who are like, in job it is to get this off the ground, and to see Ugo's passion, to Ed's passion, I was like, Chloe said, you know, she was listening in the background as always, spending time together, and was like, yeah, she was like, I love you, I'll find you. You know, listening in the background, you know, she was like, you seem really motivated by it, because I just taken it for granted, because I didn't necessarily need it myself. But then you hear about the fact that, you know, that the amount of hours they put in, the amount of phone calls they're having for people with different problems, which is only going to get worse in this situation. I've done a couple of videos on Facebook today and Instagram Live, basically just telling people, you know, who are sitting at home with their own mental health issues, to reach out, to talk about it, because things are going to come to the forefront in this period of time. Sitting at home with your family and all the rest of it, you need to make sure that you reach out, not just as a rugby player, but to anybody. Talk to someone, because they're out there. There are people out there to help.
Good man. We're actually having Ed Jackson on in a couple of weeks, hopefully, even if it's via Skype. So we will pick up and we will get into a bit more detail on that. Bits and bobs. I want to get into films and how to entertain ourselves over the next 13, 14, 15, 16 months, whatever it's going to be. we've obviously got a lot going on though, and it is looking like it's going to be another weekend of isolation. We thought we'd try and give some recommendations from a couple of people used to being away on long trips who've not had a lot to do in their diary when they've been away. Over the next half an hour, 40 minutes or so, the boys are going to give you film and TV ideas, how they've quelled the boredom on tours, and we'll play round one of our new game. Stand by for that. And we've got our return of our friend Guinness Perfect Pour as well. First things first, though, you guys have obviously done a lot of isolation, a lot of time in hotel rooms, a lot of waiting. I imagine you're quite masters at this kind of thing. I was going to say, how did you entertain yourselves? But let's keep it clean. We're a family show, Lord.
Yeah, mate. When you're in when you say isolation, at least you've still got 30 lads that you can interact with, whereas you haven't got that at the moment. But yeah, look, ours was box sets, like in the World Cup. Always box sets kept me entertained. I remember, that was at the time. So if you go 2003 or that early 2000s, it was Jack Bauer, wasn't it? And 24 hours, literally just sitting there smashing through those. Things have moved on since then. By the time it got to like day 8 of his life, and it was like, how many more things can he save the world from, and how many times can he die? But otherwise, finding a box set.
How annoying was it in 24? Like, however many series there are, I think it was like 8 series. He saved the world every time, right? Did shit, like had to break the rules to do stuff, and they still questioned his methods every single time. It's like, at what point do you turn around and go, hold on a minute, this guy, you can't do that. Well, he saved the world another 7 times. Perhaps we should cut the red tape and let him do it. That's why I stopped watching it. I was like, at some point, someone said, for fuck's sake, just let Jack do what he needs to do.
Get on with it.
It's the same with Mission Impossible, isn't it? Like, oh no, he's such a rogue agent. Well, every time he seems to pull it back for you. So why don't you just let him do it?
And there's always that pencil pusher, that one person who's like, no, do it by the letter. It's like the terrorist doesn't want to have a chat with you. You've got to pull his fingernails off and pluck his eye out. Otherwise, he ain't going to tell you what you want to do. So against the Geneva Convention, they've blown up the world. It's too late. Forget about it.
That's why I love The Sopranos. There are no rules. There's no red tape. Just crack on and do what you want to do. Just before we get into that, best social secretaries on tour that you've been on? Lions, England, club. Who ran a good camp?
Matt Stevens. When we toured South Africa, there's no better man to run a tour than Matt Stevens in South Africa. Obviously not for his nighttime activities, but obviously his dad's quite punchy in around the Durban area. They've got a marine park or like a water park that he can organise everything. He knows every restaurant. Saucer's such a smoozer that he knows. He ran a good trip for us. I think actually all the boys. It was pre-season. It was that one where I had my worst game ever, where I dropped the ball and over the line and
intercept,
charge down kick and intercept. And all the boys went over it with their weight and mills intact, and we came back about 7.5 kilos heavier per man, and we blamed it on the wild boar, the fact that we were just eating meat constantly. He ran a good tour.
I can well believe it. Hoff?
I think Jeff Parlin actually was a social secretary and got quite kicked. I think it's the guys who are quite organised. I tell you, Will Rowlands actually at Will Rowlands and Sam Jones at Wasps ran some of the best team socials I've ever been involved with. You had to meet at different places. There was skills, there was points for different things. Like, for example, if you kissed a celebrity, it was 100 points. So I snogged Danny Cipriani, instantly thought I got 100 points, but apparently Sips wasn't a celeb. But then I said I was a celeb, but that got ruled out. I ended up just kissing Danny. And then you had to give...
It's a win for you.
It was a win for me. It's the best
definitely you're trading up there.
I wish he'd brushed his teeth, though. But and then... but I tell you, there was also one that if you got a tattoo, for example, 100 points, you're like, lads are never going to do that. Obviously, 3 lads come back with tattoos. There was you had a golden egg that you had to get photographed with on various locations, fulfill quizzes, get photos. It was just incredibly well done. And they always made sure that on England tours you'd have, I think, someone like I said Jeff.
Dylan was all right, wasn't he?
Yeah, Dylan was great. Yeah,
in terms of more just getting out. Yeah, that was in 2011 where he bought the car and then drove it around. And Hask was always in the car with him.
Yeah.
What car was it?
It was a Vauxhall Victor. we went up the steepest hill in the road, the steepest hill in the world.
It?
Yeah, no, we sort of got nearly, because there's a steepest bit and there was a further bit, but with the weight in the car, the gearbox started to smoke a bit. And
then didn't he load up the boot with like a boombox or something as well, and kid it out a bit, and he came back, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I think his parents have still got it in New Zealand.
What?
Actually, they roll around with it. Yeah, they still keep it. I think it's still alive. But the best bit was that we're driving up and Chris Ashton was in the back of the car, and there was a bloke painting his fence so the road is advertised the world's steepest hill. So we're like racing up it, and Ashley's looked over and was like, lads, there's a bloke painting his fence on world's steepest hill. You're like, what do you think? You're like thinking that there was not going to be anyone living any normal life, that there should be like fanfares and fireworks. It's like, and he just couldn't get over it. We're all having the time of life, and he's like, lads, there's just a bloke painting his fence on fucking top of the hill. You're like, no, you've missed the point here. This is not a fucking fairground. This is just a hill in New Zealand. But for him, it was the greatest entertainment he's ever had.
Take the boy out of Wigan, I suppose. It's I think is it Jamie George who's social secretary at the moment? Runs a tight ship. A lot of coffee going on in the England camp.
Yeah, coffee, cinema times, local events. Obviously, on the bus trips, you would have fact of the day, local information, joke of the day. All that's run by the social people, music ambassadors. So Luther Burrell and myself were music on tour. Music in the gym, and if you dropped the ball on any of these tasks, you were in. You'd be fined, called out. Lads get really arsey. Paul Hill at Northampton Saints is a social secretary, but Paul's known for his unbelievable quizzes. He's a bit like Rain Man, and he organises quizzes for the lads, and but they get very competitive. There's quite a good game.
Did you pay into a pot in Northampton? You had to put 100 quid a season in the pot or something. Yeah,
but at one point we had. I think we put so much, basically all the fine money and all the kitty money, and then they brought taxes in. This is the best bit. So it was like when I first went in there, it was like the Wild West. Dylan Hartley and Sue Waller were collecting taxes, and they had a safe. And honestly, I think by the end of it, they raised about 20 grand. That of all the boys having to pay your weekly taxes. If you didn't pay the taxes, they got doubled. And a few lads in the first couple of weeks were didn't pay because they didn't think it was going to last, and they got overheard saying that. And boys were coming up doing PowerPoints, going, these people haven't paid. They don't want the system to work. It's going to fucking work, and they were ruthless. And it went all through the season until they raised about 20 bags, I think. And then, I don't know where it went. I never saw any of it, but let's just say Dylan and Sue were seen driving around in new cars.
Why Sue?
Because I think this is the story. Basically, I think he's got a really fit mum. Essentially, she's called Sue Waller, and basically, she came down to training one day or something, and someone saw her and just called her Sue, and now he's called Sue. That's his nickname. He's been known for Sue Waller for years. But it basically comes off the back of having a fit mum, I think. But I can't vouch that. But we call him Sue.
Good man. Right, let's move on to the categories we were going to talk about. The best 5 films you would recommend for people this weekend in reverse order, and why? Lord, you're quite good at this. This is quite strong territory for you, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, because obviously you can go to obvious ones, but then what's the point in going for obvious ones, because you probably have seen them already. So my first one that I'm going for is a film called Identity.
Ooh.
It's John Cusack, Ray Liotta, Amanda Peet. Basically, a convicted murderer gets off on a technicality and ends up in this hotel. Obviously, it's a stormy night. Ends up in this motel side the road, and things unfold, and it all goes tits up for everyone who's staying in this motel. And it's sort of not a who's done it, but it's get yourself
Thriller.
out there, and it's very, very good. John Cusack's good in it, and worth a watch. And most people hopefully haven't seen it, so hopefully then you've added value.
I like this. This is like Mayo and Kermode already. We're easing into it.
A Fracture. Have you heard of Fracture?
Yeah,
Anthony Hopkins. Denzel. I think it's who's the cop? I think it might be Denzel. I'm not sure. Basically, it's all about double jeopardy. I'm picking just murdering movies, but guy kills his wife, but does it in a way
Not
where
great to have a lot of that on watching while we're in isolation. People might go, ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and basically, it's double jeopardy. He finds a way of, without spoiling it, he finds a way of getting out of the murder that they can't prove it was him, even though they know it was him because there were only 2 people in the house. But they can't find the murder weapon for a reason because this guy's really smart, and at the end, he makes a mistake that they pull up on, which is quite clever.
Like it. Identity fracture.
Yeah. Lucky Number 11.
Great movie.
So that's about basically about a guy who gets caught up in the middle of he gets mistaken identity, and he gets caught up in a war that's been plotted between 2 top end gang bosses, the rabbi and the boss, I think they're called, Ben Kingsley and I think Morgan Freeman. I think
Morgan Freeman.
Is it Morgan or is it Samuel?
No, it's Morgan. It's Morgan Freeman.
And basically, he has to hatch his own ingenious plot to get them before they get him. Basically, that's another good one. That was the ones that I don't know. I've put in Back to the Future.
Strong.
And I've put Back to the Future in because maybe some people who listen to us won't have watched it, and because today I decided to start reading my Gray's Sporting Almanac. Every result
which is the book.
Which is the book that Biff makes all his money on. So I was reading that today, so I thought I had to put that in there. Well, that's how boring it got today. I even know the results.
You should do what the guy does out of Napoleon Dynamite and order a time machine off the internet and see if you can take yourself back in time and make some money.
That could be the last one, Hot Tub Time Machine, if anyone's watched that.
I'd love that.
And then I need a comedy in there. I had Happy Gilmore in there, but everyone's seen it. But all day long, you have no reason other than just watch Happy Gilmore because you can watch it over and over again. You never get bored with it.
Love it.
It's great.
Love Happy Gilmore.
But it's like The Wedding Crashers. Just watch that. You never get bored of that.
Strong. Very good selections. And
There's
3 of
5.
those I haven't seen, so I'm in for that. Hoff, well done.
I mean, classically, I was completely unprepared for any of this, so I'm just going to go off the top of my head and I go with some obvious stuff. Okay, number 5 position, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. A great family watch. Really exciting. Yeah. Kaliman Shaktide, which is great. And number 4, I'm going to go with Casino.
Yes, nice. Great film.
Great movie. Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro. In number 3, let's just quick check my list here. Oh, hold on. Silence of the Lambs.
Nice.
Very good. Bit scary, bit squeamish. Not necessarily family.
Clarice.
Yeah.
Love that.
Clarice. Probably away when the kids go to bed, so maybe just a bit more adult one. In number 2, or is that not? Yeah, that was number 2. I'm going to go with The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
an old classic. But in number 1, Ronin with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino.
Nice. Good movie.
My favourite movie of all time. And actually, to be fair, there is a bonus movie which I think is equally as good for those lads at home. Heat. With Val Kilmer, Robert De Niro, and Al Pacino. Those are my top 5 with a bonus.
Right, there's some very good recommendations there. I'm very pleased. Friends and family and viewers, and leave your suggestions for everyone. Let's create a nice little column in the WhatsApp group.
If you love a musical like me, Rock of Ages, just go watch that. It's so good.
Is that the
Tom Cruise?
It's not Jack Black.
Yeah, it's Tom Cruise's.
Tom Cruise.
No, that's School of Rock.
School of Rock.
Jack Black.
Oh, that's amazing.
Rock of Ages is Tom Cruise, Brand, and who else is in there? Catherine Zeta-Jones. It's good.
Okay.
I just love musicals.
To keep us going in our WhatsApp group, which actually I think we should be selling access to because it's sort of the only thing keeping me going right now. But we were having to think about some of the games we could play and decide upon, and we've come up with rock, paper, scissors, best of 5, Tins versus Hasks to get us going, and the winner stays on. Next week, we're going to have a celebrity guest who will challenge the champion, and we'll dial them in and they can play. Okay. You up for it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Like 1, 2, 3, fire.
Is it on 4? So 1, 2, 3, show?
I thought it was 1, 2, show.
No, 1, 2, 3 show.
Have we?
Oh, why put another one in? 1, 2 show.
As it adds to the drama.
Okay.
Okay, or
Right.
1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
3, go.
Okay,
I'm in the-
you ready?
Taking
You
10
count
minutes
us
to get
down
out
then.
sorted. Right, okay. Best of 5. Ready? 1, 2, 3, show. Oh my God, can you fucking do it?
So
on
we're
1,
not
2,
doing
3?
it.
Start again.
Right,
Go
Hask.
together.
Hask, can you put Hask on the screen so
Yeah,
I
put
can
your
see
hands
him?
up, Hoff.
Yeah, sorry, fuck, got big hands, look. Right,
Mangled.
ready?
Ready?
1,
Hask.
2.
1,
2,
2.
2, 3.
There's a delay.
This
There's
is
a
so
delay.
delayed.
It's brilliant.
I know.
This is fucking
Please put
brilliant.
another 50p in the meter at home and get a
Right.
stronger broadband connection.
Okay. If Painter, you just go 1, 2, 3 show, and then because hopefully we'll hear it at the same time, and then we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
just show, and then what'll
Yeah.
happen?
Right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, show. 1 up tins. Ready?
Shit. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, show. Good. 1, 2, 3, show.
Ah! It looks like a pair of scissors.
Lord's one away. Was that a piece of paper you just put out, Hass? That looked like a bowl of spaghetti with those fingers.
It's like that.
Oh my God. People are going to be switching off. Right, last one. No, not last one. Ready? 1, 2, 3, show. Too easy. Too easy. Tins is living rent
that 3-0?
in Waffleberry's head.
I did. I think there is more of a delay on Tins's because I saw his hand. I saw his hand come like that. He saw it. So I don't think it's quite fair because I think you fucking.
You're not. You. I can't. I actually couldn't see you at all there. I must be able to switch to you on the thing, but as I know, I'm a techno. Not very clever.
Yeah, but
so
you
I had
used to
no.
be really
I couldn't
good.
even see you. I'm just guessing. I'm looking at Painter to see whether I'd won or not.
Shambles. Absolute shambles. Lord, you go through to the next round. We're going to have a celebrity guest on next week to take you on in our House of Rugby rock, paper, scissors. No surprise that Hask has bowed out already. Right, if you're listening and watching to House of Rugby on Joe together with Guinness, with me, Alex Payne, alongside Hask and Tin. Still to come, we're going to dig into some box set recommendations. We'll have the return of the old friend, the Guinness Perfect Pour. But if these recommendations aren't enough, please may we... Do you know, this new tooth, I'm actually really struggling to talk. I only had it put in yesterday.
Oh wait, that's way better. That's way better.
Hold on. Just a question for you. If you try to speak normally, is that how you're sounding?
Like that. Yeah, if I talk normally, that's how it sounds.
Shut up! No
Mate, I'm
way.
not joking. I'm missing my front ivory.
No way.
There's nothing I can
No
do
way.
about it. Like, I'm
Just imagine how long the career would have lasted if this was permanent.
Hello and welcome to Sky Sports.
Are you serious? Are you
House of
serious?
Rugby. Yeah, mate, there's nothing I can do. It's actually really uncomfortable as well.
But why did your tooth fall out?
It didn't fall out. I knocked it out 21 years ago.
Fine.
I knocked it out 21 years ago surfing and had it put back in and it's just died the death.
Oh.
So I've now
That's
got
amazing.
fake in. It's not working very well. Should we have another run up at that link? You're listening to and watching House of Rugby on Joe together with Guinness. With me, Alex Payne, alongside Hask and Tins. Still to come. Please don't give me grief if I'm not mocking lists. I am now one of the gang. Still to come. We're going to dig into some box set recommendations. We'll have the return of an old friend, the Guinness Perfect Pour. But if these recommendations aren't, this is it. This is the end of the rule. Has stop yawning. If these aren't enough, may we interest you in the House of Rugby back catalogue to keep you company. Sean O'Brien, Ben Ryan, Simon Zebo, Nolly Waterman, Luther Burrell, Dan Leo, Justin Marshall, to name but a few. And of course, this man.
This was a few years ago when my little cousin was living with us. My brother put on a whole chicken. And my little cousin came in and he was hungry. And instead of eating the breast, he just ate both the legs and the wings. And my brother kicks off and he's like, "Who the hell ate this?" I was like, "I don't know. Ask Otti, my little cousin." He's like, "Did you eat this?" He's like, yeah. "When you eat any of the breast?" He's like, "Oh, it's too dry." Michael was like, "Right, go for a run." And I was laughing and he was like, "You, go watch him." I was like, "You all right, mate?" So I went and followed him around the block in my car. And he's running and crying because obviously he's upset.
Oh my God. And the Billy's riding with a car, like shouting at him to keep him running. And Mako's eating the rest of the breast and gone back to sleep. They run a tight ship. Mako runs a tight ship, mate.
He does. That's quite vicious in some ways.
Yeah, well, not vicious. That's how we grew up. So.
No, but you were saying that in terms of like the hierarchy thing. He's the boss.
It's cool. I like it.
Do you?
Yeah, because I do it when Mucker's not around.
You get the crown.
Yeah.
Weird thing, Billy tries to do it with me. He's like asking me to carry things for him. Like,
you serious?
what are you doing, mate? I'm like, I'm your senior. Like I'm actually probably 7 levels above you.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Doesn't say that
I
way.
want him to talk to someone, then for them to talk to me. I don't want him talking to me direct. But
Is it ability, not age, in terms of the?
No, it's age.
You're watching the House of Rugby on Joe, together with Guinness.
So that was Billy Vunapola's House of Rugby. Don't forget as well our ever-growing Facebook group, and check out our Instagram at RugbyJoe as well for photos, news, and behind-the-scenes bits and pieces. We've done films, onto box sets, and TV shows as well. You can throw some of those in as well. Same as before, in reverse order, please. Top 5, and why? Hask, you're going up before the jury first of all.
Okay, number 5 for me is Whitechapel on Netflix. It's about it's almost sci-fi-ish, set in London, about murders, a detective, and supernatural.
Is that Jack the Ripper?
It's the first series is about Jack the Ripper, but then it develops. Like series 3, I quite liked it, which is my number 5. Number 4 of TV series that I would recommend are something called The Unit. This is based on Delta Force in America. It's a TV series, great actors in it, and it goes for like 5 series. Really enjoy that.
Why? What's interesting about it?
Why? I just give
me some detail.
I don't know. Okay, so it's basically
watching.
Essentially, it's a new member joins the Delta Force, the most elite, second most elite special forces team in the world behind the SAS and SBS. And they go on missions, the lives of the soldiers on and off the barracks, all the kind of stuff, the drama. But I just like watching special forces shit, really. Number 3, I'm going to go with Friends.
Brilliant.
It's an amazing TV series. Can't go wrong with it. I'm actually.
They're reforming.
Are they?
They're having a comeback.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
The band's back together.
That's good.
I'm going to go number 2, The Sopranos.
Boom. Well done.
Fantastic TV series. Introduced by my wife, who we watched it together. And number 1, I was very, very late to the party on this. I couldn't understand the hysteria. Couldn't get my head around it. Game of Thrones. Oh my God. I watched that TV series and the shit that happens on that thing. I have literally, as the TV screen goes black and you catch a reflection of yourself, you're just like this. I can't believe that happened. And that was pretty much,
I've not done it. I will hold my hands. I've not done Game of Thrones.
I didn't do it. I laughed at everyone. Couldn't understand it. I was late to it, but last year, Chloe and I did the entire whole lot. And every evening we watched one episode together, and it was fantastic.
Amazing. Okay.
I judge you slightly, Painter.
Good. I've got some up the artillery sleeve, but go on. Off you go. 5-1.
I'm going to try and do ones that people might not have seen.
Good.
Again, just to keep it, because obviously you might have seen them.
You're not a cinema guru.
I don't know what order to go in though. I'm going to start with one that, because a lot of people will see it, was Homeland. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
And plus, I didn't have a number 5, so I've gone for that. At 4, Sex Education. If you want to feel really awkward,
what a series!
Brilliant telly.
I should have had that. It's my favourite thing I've ever watched. Fuck.
At 3, Messiah.
Ooh.
If you haven't seen Messiah, it is good. It's Michelle. I'm now just playing a clip if everyone wants to watch it.
Good. We might have one of the rights issues there, but let's keep going.
As you can guess by the name, the guy comes along. Is he a fake Messiah? He does natural things, and it's all about the US government hunting him down, finding him, controlling him. It's very good. I watched that over Christmas. Money Heist. If you haven't seen Money Heist,
not seen that.
basically based in Spain. They try to rob the National Bank in Spain, where they print all the money, and they try and make it's a hostage situation, but really they're printing their own money to steal it, and it's very good. It's worth a watch. And then it's the only annoying thing is it's sort of dubbed, so it's obviously was made in Spanish, but then they've dubbed over it. But still, it's very good. And then the one I love the most, Ozark. If anyone's watched Ozark,
yeah, I like Ozark. That's brilliant.
Yeah, Ozark's outstanding. Yeah, basically a normal everyday accountant with a crappy life, but secretly he's the money launderer for the drugs cartel, and what goes wrong, and his business partner screws him, and then he has to try and make his way back, and he moves to Ozark to do it. Very good.
Unbelievable. I'd like to throw Sex and the City in there, obviously, but the one that you haven't mentioned, which is absolutely sensational, is Band of Brothers.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's lots in there.
There is, but Band of Brothers
very,
is
very
Band of
good.
Brothers is, I think, one of the best.
It was fantastic. Can I throw out X-Files?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, we can relive our youth. This Life.
Old school.
Tins,
Yeah,
old
old
school.
school.
This Life was amazing. You'll appreciate that. Okay, quick whip through some of the old glorious ones. If you could be one character from Only Fools and Horses, who would it be and why? We'll be millionaires, Rodney. Trigger. Hoff.
I was trying to figure out who I'd be on this one. Say Boise, but who would I
Yeah,
want to
that's
be?
good. I'd give you Boise.
Yeah, I think it would be Boise.
Dell. You want Dell?
Yeah.
Has to be Mickey Pierce. Remember the guy who always came in, wide boy.
Yeah, with the hat and the white strip on it. Yeah, the hat and the white. Yeah. And he'd be like, "Well, what's that, Del? Don't worry about it. You know, Rodney and I'll be down."
It's quite good movement.
Yeah, thanks so much. No, I love Only Fools and Horses. I would quite like to. Well, I think I'd like to be Del, obviously, just because I think even though he's doomed to failure, he has a lot of fun in life. He's got 17 fire damage briefcases with the passcodes inside, but it's a hell of a deal. I thought I might end up being Michael the barman, just forever getting mugged over by everyone. Albert falls down, Uncle Albert falls down my thing, tries to sue me. Del sells me hooky champagne. Yeah, I imagine I'd be doing that.
Chernobyl champagne.
Yeah, and also all those tomatoes that he's got. Del's telling about the back of the tomatoes. He goes, "The tomatoes are all rotten, Del." That'd be me.
Which Inbetweeners character
right,
do you
here's
most
a question.
associate with? Go on.
I was going to say, who is going to play Trigger? Which rugby player would be Trigger?
Johnny May.
Yeah, it's not a bad.
Yeah,
choice,
I thought Johnny May as well.
Yeah. I love that when he goes, my favourite Trigger scene is when he wins that award for that broom, and he's like, "Fucking hell, Trigger.
For the broom.
You done unbelievably well. You kept that one broom together." He goes, "No, well, I've had 6 new handles and 5 new heads." It's like, no, Trigger, that's not the same.
How's that the same broom, Trigger? Maintenance, Dale boy, maintenance.
We need to dial that back up. Which character do you most identify with from the Inbetweeners? And I might as well just stick myself in as Will Mackenzie before you do.
Yes, you are 100% Will.
Yeah, right. Fit? Keep moving. Yeah, you like to know. Keep going.
I would actually. I'm definitely Jay. 100% Jay.
Yes, that is true.
I'm taking Neil for his moves on the dance floor.
Yes, strong. Actually, you are quite Neil. I quite like that. If you could be one character from Game of Thrones, who would it be and why?
I tell you who I liked was the I can't remember his name now, but the bodyguard of Tyrion Lannister.
Bronn, the cutthroat who always defended him unless someone paid him more money.
Yes, exactly. That, or I quite like the Hound, but without the facial situation.
Yes. Was Bronn the one that's played by Robson or Jerome?
Yeah, Jerome Flynn.
He's good. He's good producer side. If you were Don Draper from
technically,
Mad Men,
with my old nose, that would have been me.
Yeah, that's very true. It would have been actually. If you were Don Draper from Mad Men, did you ever watch Mad Men?
I saw a few episodes. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've not smashed Mad Men either. I watched about the first 4 episodes.
How would you redesign Club Rugby?
How would I redesign rugby? Well, I'd make it a summer sport. I would align the seasons.
Yeah, I think summer season worked in terms of hard pitches, guaranteed weather, good flowing rugby. I do think a global season will work, but it's not going to work for everyone because at some point someone's going to have winter weather whilst they're playing. But try and get it aligned in some way. But you're talking club rugby, aren't you?
Do whatever you like. I think the whole thing's going to have to be rebuilt in 6 months' time.
In terms of club rugby, I could understand ring fencing, but I don't think I'd ever do it. I'd still leave it as promotion relegation just because we'll get used to it. But would it benefit the game? We could throw it in there, try it for a couple of years, try ring fence, get 2 teams up, and then, well, okay, if we're going to ring fence it, let's say we ring fence it, bring it up, and then split the leagues, and then do it like a Super 14 in terms of have then a proper playoff system, have 2 separate leagues and a proper playoff system, or 2 separate groups and then a proper playoff system.
I'd shorten it as well, so you only played.
So you're only playing each other once as well.
Yes, yeah.
So you're doing it like once. Super Rugby.
So one season you're playing at home, next season you're playing away. Shorten the whole thing.
That's Super Rugby.
Bigger stadiums.
Better hospitality, much more engagement on social media and with sponsors doing proper, interesting stuff, creating content, behind the scenes stuff with players, encouraging them to be way more commercial.
And stuff like what they did with the New Zealanders, where they did when the NFL did that thing, pick me, and then New Zealand went off and they were doing the passes into the cans and kicking the posts and hitting the crossbar and
hitting watermelons,
stuff like that. Just to what they did with that pick me in the NFL was just awesome.
Yeah,
things like that, but like also live music at the grounds. I'd fill stadiums with tickets for students and bits and pieces. So there's constant people, so there's full atmosphere, people having a great time. I think I've just tried to be commercially a lot better with that. Make sure that people were doing, engaging with business partners in the community a lot better. They have all these business clubs. A lot of people just don't know how to operate them and use them. So I would just try to make it a lot more revenue generator, create match day experiences that were 10 times better. And I think with a shortened season, more impact in sometimes evening games, so you can have hospitality that goes on to the evenings, stuff like that.
Yeah. Tell you what, fellas.
Use older players better than some other clubs. Well, some clubs don't use them at all. Some clubs do, but you look at football. They keep. You look at someone like Kenny Dalglish. He's around Liverpool all the time. Robbie Fowler is. They all work on match days to entertain punters and actually part of the club and. Stuff like that. Simple stuff, really.
Hard Knocks, do a Hard Knocks Premiership style. Series. Gauge them, show everything. Stop freaking out about like revealing stuff to the media.
Yeah.
Tell you what, fellas, one day with these ideas, we'll be millionaires. We'll get CVC to give us a little dial up, and we've got a game plan on. Very interesting. All right, that's probably another show actually. But we'll do a State of the Nation before too long, or State of the Game. Let's return finally to an old friend, the Guinness Perfect Pour, sidelined during the Six Nations, but recalled from the bench in time of a global crisis. So in 119 and a half seconds, because that's how long it takes to pour the perfect pint, can you name the 15 that you'd like to be self-isolated with this weekend to watch all of the things that you have recommended? I know it's only groups of 10 or less, but we're going to allow you 15. So I gave you 3 options and a deadline. Neither of you responded to it. However, you can either have rugby players, a mix of rugby players and film or TV characters, or just film and TV characters. Who would like to go first on 119 and a half seconds? 15 people.
Former teammates, rugby players that I would happily spend time with. Number 1 would be Paul Doran-Jones. Number 2 would be Dylan Hartley. Number 3 would be Carl Sinclair. Number 4 would be Simon Shaw. Number 5 would be Richard Burkitt. Number 6 would be Joe Worsley. Number 7 would be... Number 8 would be...
Billy.
Billy Vanapola, yes, good work. Number 7... who's it? I'll come back to number 7. Number
Tom
9,
Rees?
Danny Kerr. Say Tom Rees. Number 9, Danny Kerr. Number 10, Alex King. Number 12, I would go with Fraser Waters. Number 13, I'd go with the rogue Adam Bidwell from London Welsh. I'd get him on there. Number 14, I would have... I tell you what, I'd have Tamati Ellison, number 11, and I'd have Mar Nono at 15.
Wow, mix and match a little bit, but I like what you've done there. I put Tamati to 15 and Mar on the wing, but that's a very strong selection. Well played. Apologies to all those you've offended. Lord, how ready are you to do this?
Well, I'm ready in terms of I've got the names, but I don't have an order of what position I'm putting them in. So,
so it's a batting lineup rather than the first 15.
I looked at this as in Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, And if you're in isolation and you can't really go outside, you look for self-improvement, or if you're living the same day, you get piano lessons every day until you become amazing. So I've looked at how I could better myself. So obviously I love golf, so I had to have some golfers in there. So I've got a couple of golf coaches in terms of, I've got Seve Ballesteros and Tiger Woods.
Friend.
Obviously...
He's still training on that. Have you heard from Tiger since Japan?
No, unfortunately not. He ducks all my calls. Then I went for a coach of cool, Samuel Jackson, speed coach and a lifestyle coach, Usain Bolt, comedy coach in Will Ferrell, Chris Hemsworth I put in there just for body goals, training partner, Dylan for my safe planner trip. For whenever I wanted to go outside, he'd make sure it was run organised. I've got Keith Duffy as my positivity coach. I've got Slash as my guitar coach. John Taylor as my drum coach. Ronan Keating as my singing coach. I also have Ryan Reynolds as a lifestyle coach. And then I've got Rebel Wilson. Koshi answered the phone call the other week as a comedy person as well.
Jesus Christ. Imagine if you had that as your squad. I mean, what a man you would come out with at the end of it.
I just feel I'd be more talented. Well, actually, I'd have some talent.
No, that's a hell of a gang. That also sounds a hell of a party. Well done, team. I think we've just about staggered through that. The very best of luck to producer Si and bolting all that into something resembling a show. Any other business for this week, please?
Well, best of luck of him trying to receive my data before Thursday of next week.
42 hours to transfer it last time. Hask, anything exciting going on other than saving the RPA and building a new competition for us all to watch?
No, I've just got to train, do some rehab and stay sane, really. Stick to a routine. And that is a bit of advice I'll give to anybody who is working at home at the moment is maintain your usual routine. Make sure you get up, do some exercise. You can walk out of the house, do some training, do a bit of HIIT workout, whatever it might be. Eat at the normal times. Don't go completely mad with your food. It's not an excuse to just go completely off-piste and drink yourself and eat yourself into oblivion and worry about what you can control. That's it.
I really want Blinky to do crap in the background of your screen.
I would love that. Yeah.
I've got my brother's birthday tomorrow, but that'll just be a FaceTime call now, obviously.
Happy birthday to your brother. No present?
I know, happy birthday. Well, I'll get him something when I actually get to see him.
Right.
But ultimately, there is nothing arriving at his doorstep tomorrow. Sorry about that. And then, obviously, we've got Princess Eugenie is 30 on Monday, so happy birthday to you. I guarantee she doesn't listen, but Jack might. But no, that's cancelled. That party was cancelled as well, so there's nothing in there. Absolutely nothing. I have spent the day trying to learn how to be a teacher for next week.
Home education coming around the corner fast.
Yeah.
I've actually dialed up my parents and my parents-in-law, who are going to have half an hour with the kids each day to do maths, history, biology, sort of basically just to change the voice that they listen to. Hask, do you want to offer my kids any education?
Well, I'm like the standard PE teacher, constantly in a tracksuit, just schmoozing. You must be teaching geography, aren't you? Because that's what you look like most of the time as an official geography teacher.
Yeah,
Oxbow Lakes.
Yeah, Terminal Moraine. Yeah, CBD. Let's get into it. Yeah. We might actually do a House of Rugby live on the GCSE geography lessons of yesteryear, or maybe not. I love that. when times run really hard, there's we'll put it on the further down the line.
I have got a shout out. I have decided that I may try to get a Labrador puppy or a Rottweiler puppy in this process, and then look after it, because we're quarantined. It could be the perfect time, but I don't really know where to. I want to get one, but I just don't want to get one off like the back of a van where it comes back, because it's got like 3 legs or something like that. So
Martin Wood rang me yesterday for a black Labrador as well. So I'll keep my ear to the ground. Have you got any preferences, Hask? Do you want a boy or a girl? Black, yellow?
I ideally enjoy
fox,
a girl in black, but also I don't mind a short-haired Rottweiler as well. I'll take either one.
Wow. There we are. There's a shout out.
Slight difference between 2 dogs, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Big Jim Hamilton's looking for another boxer. If he wants
some, I'll give him.
Oh God.
Is that official offering?
No, that wasn't. Please,
that's
no.
a good show, actually. Players and their dogs.
Chloe wants to have a weird little dog. I'm just not about that life. She wants a pug.
I've got.
You want a pug? You want a pug? You want a pug? All right, she wants a Rottweiler. We're getting a Rottweiler. So somebody find me a Rottweiler.
I've got 2 wire-haired Dachshunds called Sybil and Chili. Man up and deal with that.
Do you put them in your handbag when you go out like Liberace?
They go in my back pocket. They're that small. Oh, who's this one?
Oh, what's that one?
Hang on. This one's Pepper. So this is Pepper. So we have a mother, daughter, and then the other one.
Is that a black lab?
One. Yeah.
Oh, I want either one, a black lab or Rottweiler. But the one caveat is that Chloe thinks that all dogs smell, so we have to have it shampooed up to an inch of its life.
She's got really bad breath.
Oh, you just let it lick your face. She's probably licking her bum.
Right.
I
On
mean,
that
dog,
note,
not Chloe. That
and
was
rap.
Really clean.
Rap when you like, and rap. Please rap. Please rap this show. Please fucking rap. Rap. When will you rap?
Have you
rapped? Good. Look after the dogs.
Have you seen something? Have you seen something about Mary?
Yes. Oh God. Yeah. No. Don't. No, that's
God.
coming out. Fellas, stay well. Should we do this again sometime soon?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually quite good for my sanity, I think. Hang in there, you two. Hang in there, everyone else as well. Thank you for all the love, the support, the abuse. Be nice to each other, actually, particularly in that Facebook group of ours.
Yeah.
We probably will come back to you sooner rather than later. What else is there to do right now other than stay safe, have fun, look after those that are nearest and dearest to you. Thank you for the love and support. We'll speak to you soon.
You've been watching the House of Rugby on Joe, together with Guinness. Drink responsibly. Visit drinkaware.co.uk for the facts.